Hi guys, I'm Alex from Mason Lifestyle. I thought that today we would do a really quick video since a lot of us are making coats and jackets. And if you look at some of your ready to wear jackets, they have a little bit of a bias tape. It's just a nice little detail to have between your facing and your lining. It's just a nice little detail to have. And I thought that we could always incorporate that into our patterns. So here's a little quick thing. How do you do it? So I'm going to call this green fabric my facing. It's going to be my main fabric. And here, this black fabric is going to be my lining fabric. And of course, I have my bias tape, and you can make your own bias tape, or you can buy it already pre-made. This is 1 inch when it's like this, and it would be 1/2 inch when it's folded, okay? So I'm going to call this as my pattern has a 5/8 inch seam allowance. So the first thing that you're going to do is you are going to open up your bias tape, and I am going to place this, and definitely grab your ruler or your seam gauge, and you really want to set that ridge for your bias tape at 7/8, right? Because we just want a little bit of your bias tape showing. So take it on your sewing machine, and I want you to stitch on that fold 7/8 from your seam allowance. Again, not from the raw edge, from this ridge where your bias tape is folded, okay? So 7/8 from that ridge to the seam allowance. All right, go ahead and do that now. All right, so I'm at my sewing machine, and I have my trusty seam gauge. So again, I have my bias tape at 7/8 from the raw edge, and I'm just going to go ahead and stitch. And of course, don't forget the back stitch. So I went ahead and stitched my bias tape at 7/8. See how it looks? Now I want you to take this to your pressing station. And remember, this is gonna be your facing, right? And I want you to press your bias tape towards the raw edge. Go ahead and do that now. So I went ahead and pressed my bias tape towards the raw edge. This is what it looks like from the inside. So you see that extra bias tape. So I want you to go ahead and cut that extra fabric. So that is out of the way. And again, this is what it looks like from the right side. Now I want you to grab your lining, and you can pin it, but I want you to take now to your sewing machine, and I want you to stitch your lining at your seam allowance. In my case would be 5/8. All right, so I'm back to my sewing machine, and I got my lining, and I got my facing underneath with my bias tape already in. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch my seam allowance. Don't forget the back stitch at the start. All right, so I went ahead and gave it a good press, and there you have it. So you have your facing, your little trim of bias, and then your lining. And that's a good way to elevate the inside of your jacket, or if perhaps you have like a really busy print for your lining and something else, it's just a nice little way to kind of marry all of them. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.